Welcome to JPML's Select. JPML Select, that's what we're called, right? This is English Commentary
Yes.
by Jen and Garth. Today's Jen and Garth. Today we'll be covering the 2023 Mahjong Grand Prix. I feel like you have to say either Prix Max or Prix Ma. And the 2025 qualifying games to each of those, or one of the qualifying games to each of those. Qualifying meaning that players who probably did very well during the season get a shot at getting into Prix Max, along with all of the Q-Don players who just automatically get a seat in for some reason. So it's like Q-Don's in for them. But yes, so who are the people that are going to be playing today, Jen?
Well, today we're going to be watching first the 2025 Grand Prix Max.
We're starting 2025. Okay.
We're starting with 2025, and this just happened this year. I hope I have all the names right. I don't have a
January.
screen with all of the players, but it's Naoki Setokuma and Sho Oguruma.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Sho Oguruma. Makoto Sawazaki and Akira Wakatsu. So, I mean,
yeah.
Grand Prix is pretty much always that, but it's pretty stacked. It's the last game of the first round of qualifiers.
I forget. So in this round, are they playing just one game to advance?
They played five,
But
so we're
each
watching just the last game so we'll get to see actually who advanced.
table plays 5 games, or
Yeah.
just each table of 4 plays. There are 5 tables of 4 playing one game each.
It looks like they're playing one table plays 5 games. I don't know why mine is so quiet. I have it to max volume. How can
I do feel like you're very quiet. That's interesting because when I qualified for one of the qualifying rounds of Grand Prix Max, I think I only got to play one game.
Well, they have scores coming into this game, and it says it's the 5th game, so I'm assuming it's not just one game.
Very interesting. All right, there you go.
Yeah, just a second. Let me try and fix my mic. Where is my...
In Japanese, this would be... Oh.
I can see that it's not as loud as you.
I do feel like you've gotten a little bit... I do feel like you've gotten a little bit louder since you first started talking about trying to make yourself louder.
I put it a little bit louder, but I don't even know how to make it even louder. Except for...
I hear lots of clicking.
Talk. Really? I wonder if it's using the wrong mic.
Could be that.
That sounds likely. Let me see if I can set it up to the correct mic. I don't know if there's a way to do that. You'd think there is.
You'd think somehow there would be a way to do things correctly. Usually. So wait, stuff is supposed to work. Wow, look at me. I wonder
if it's because...
edited my speech. Mid-bad language.
If I get closer to the computer, no, it doesn't get louder then.
I think it got louder for me.
Oh, it did?
That definitely okay, got louder.
So it has the wrong...
I think you are using your computery mic.
Okay, just give me 1 second to fix
it. No problem. Oh, Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Oh, Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. We had visitors last night, so Scooby is all tired from entertaining our house. Oh, Scooby-Dooby. Major. Oh, random echo there for a second. That wasn't. Did I shut my windows? Can you hear lots of trucks outside? They're starting construction outside our house. So now for a year, our house is going to be very noisy.
is... Oh, that's louder.
Oh,
I don't know if it's better, but
that's-
it's louder. Too loud.
it's certainly different from what it was before.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is better or not, but this sounds way too loud now. All right. Around here, maybe? Here? Here? Does this sound good, people?
That sounds good. That
Okay.
sounds good to me.
I think
And
it's
it's an
something about not plugging my mic in before starting OBS, or I don't know. I have no idea because
you're starting at an auspicious time. It is 11/11. That also happens to be our anniversary.
oh,
First date. 11/11.
there's
Easy to
so many
remember.
anniversaries. Like
I know.
I think we only have our wedding not even wedding. We have our turned in the marriage certificate at the city office anniversary, and that's it. There's no there's no wedding anniversary. There's no first date. There's no nothing.
First date. Well, yeah. I mean, you guys. When would that be? A million years ago.
Yeah, that's true. All right. All right, let's get into the game.
Here we go. With
Oh, look, you
Fusaki
can even
standing in the
see it.
background.
Oh my god, it's like working. I've never actually streamed a game like this before, so.
All right, full screen action.
Feels amazing. Only mic issues, that's not too bad for... Last week we had the professional, like, broadcaster Nathaniel on the mics with Danny. But this week you get us, so... Unfortunate souls. Yeah.
You do have points there. So I'm wondering, would this be called Ichiji Yosen, or would it be more called...
Did you forget how to read Japanese? Because in the top left it says Ichiji Yosen.
It's so weird. I don't remember getting 5 games, but maybe they changed the format of the tournament. Okay, anyway, yes, here's the final game.
Maybe you had to qualify for the qualifier. Is that what it was?
I feel like I was in Ichiji Yosen as winner of North Kanto that year.
No, that was... I'm pretty sure that was not. That was the, like, regional Yosen or something. I don't know.
No, because I was
the
playing...
construction's really bad behind you.
Okay, I better shut the window then. Okay, Scooby. Over there.
Someday we'll get to commentary, too.
Scooby-Dooby. Oh, that's going to be my house for the next year. And not even any nice apartments, actually, because it's all single.
Is your new mic? Dwellings. Are you using your new mic?
I should be.
Huh.
Scooby,
okay.
No.
All right. Well, we will just commentate. There's so much background noise from you.
Huh.
Okay. Anyway, look, we're in East 1.
And it looks like, I think Sawazaki's hand was the one that he's one away from ready with looks like Chitoi or possibly Junpeiko, which I went for last night and 2 nights ago in league, and it was absolutely miserable. Well, this is Ogurima's hand. Does he continue? No, he does not continue going for Junpeiko.
So he locks in the open-ended. Yeah, Wakatsu has a lot of pairs. I can't imagine her going for anything except for pairs really in that hand. And Satokuma he had like kind of an option for a mixed sequence hand, not the Sanshoku. But he gave up the 6 bamboo for efficiency.
Completing another triple in... I couldn't figure out who that was.
Sawazaki. The names are in front of their hand.
I know, but once the screen changes, then I have to remember which person was where. I am still getting into commentating.
And that's Tenpai for
And
Koguruma, for
Tenpai.
Oguruma. I keep wanting to call him Koguruma for some reason, but it's Oguruma.
Yes. Oh, Guruma.
And Sawazaki will have to decide how to play against this. And he goes
throws next to Dorna.
Yeah, but it's Gambits, it's safe in Oguruma's discards. Setokuma hoping to use that triple weight, the three-sided weight in the dots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And everyone just getting rid of those 8 dots. And now
We have a Sanshoku. Nope.
Now there was a 456 Sanshoku, but he gave up on it pretty early. And the thing is, I really always like watching Sawazaki's games. Sawazaki is one of those players where he's basically a genius, but nobody can copy the way he plays in the world.
He is unique. I think one of the things that is hard for us to appreciate that what he's doing is he's just seeing so much more of the game. Like, I think he's reading other players better than anybody else can.
Yeah,
So,
but he doesn't exactly know how to articulate it either. So
that true.
So
yes.
nobody understands why he can read everything.
I think Wakutsu is probably just giving up here.
I mean,
looks like she's just playing safe.
Yeah, she only had a lot of pairs. She didn't really have any completed blocks in her hand, and it wasn't
Not
coming
really
to
a hand
fruition.
worth pushing.
Yeah. Sawazaki did take Tenpai waiting for the 2 character.
Yes.
Oh, but there's another pair, so Wakutsu might end up taking Tenpai here. 1 away for Setokuma with this draw.
He's tempted, and he does push a little bit.
I mean, the red dragon isn't out. It's not actually dangerous.
From what we can see. The 9 of characters. I guess Sawazaki had thrown the 60 characters, so the 9 was.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Setokuma could get to Tenpai by discarding the red dragon. The red dragon looks sort of dangerous to him because it's not on the board, but
right.
What does he do here? He has the blockers and the bamboos, so the 2 bamboo could be an option. Discards the 3. Suji, 2, the reach.
There's not too many draws left. So it's not, unless your hand is pretty close to ready, it's probably about time to give up. And
oh, interesting.
if only it held on to the 3. He could have been Tenpai in a weird way.
May have been an option, but as far as efficiency goes, it's more likely to draw 2 or 5. Right. Or 1 or 4. I guess 4 was the least likely. And that's Tenpai.
There it is.
So he just has to decide how dangerous this red dragon really is.
Is it worth it? Save his turn as Oya. He's got plus 11 right now. He needs 2 advance from this table. Do we know that?
Top 2.
Top 2 advance. Yeah. So he is currently in second place. He doesn't need.
He goes for it, reach.
And he reaches.
I think he's reaching with no draws left. This is the last discard.
Which is a thing they can do now?
Dude, where have you been?
Apparently not in Grand Prix Max.
No, in JPML overall for like 2 years now, we've been able to reach even if there's no draws left.
Oh, wild and crazy.
In all JPML rules.
So Setokuma holds on to his turn as dealer. Throwing Chun, Red Dragon.
So he did that reach because Oguruma was reach, so Oguruma had to discard whatever he drew. So it just gives some extra points if Oguruma happens to draw Setokuma's winner as the last tile.
Would have been a huge get had that happened to be his winner.
So do you also know that just after this tournament, I think, I don't think that it applied to this event. I think it applied right after this was over. We also now have Yonbaimon, or Kazue Yakuman, in JPML.
Oh, I did remember hearing that announcement.
But you didn't hear
Kazue
about
Yakuman.
reaching when they have no draws left?
Certainly not in just normal League.
And yeah,
That just seems ridiculous.
all JPML rules.
Is that an M League rule?
Yes.
So basically all Mahjong is becoming more like M League now, huh?
Yeah, which is kind of
Everybody.
interesting for A rules because they're so different that I'd rather keep them
Right.
way different and instead of making them more the same.
I agree.
I understand it for like WRC rules, but
Right.
for A rules, like I'm really also not a fan of getting rid of the quick eye. I definitely prefer to have the slide chi.
Right.
And I even prefer to have Tochu Ryukoku, the abortive draws in A rules.
I see.
Yeah. But
so what you're saying, yeah.
what
What you're saying is that now you can't do Kuikai.
I can't. You didn't know that either?
Well, I know it now.
Oh my god. You got to do that in A rules and like what? The rule changed 4 years ago?
Would that be a jumbo if I did that? Or would
Yeah,
that just
I mean,
be
yeah,
agari hoki?
there'd be some kind of penalty. I mean, you'd be discarding
It'd be a
already.
good
They wouldn't
story.
notice. They wouldn't notice until you discarded, so it would be chumbo.
You think it would be a chumbo? Or not agari hoki?
How could they notice until you discarded them?
I mean, there are other mistakes that once you discard it's agari hoki, like say gochi or gopon, right?
But not if you like actually meld the set. If
really?
you just say pon, and then you say, "Oh, sorry, it's not pon," then it's agari hoki. But if you like say pon with 2 red dragons and then you take a white dragon and then you discard something, so you have.
It's interesting.
Like
how strict they are there, but then like when you knock tiles over, like that's just like, oh, sorry, I knocked a whole bunch of tiles over.
How is knocking?
We'll forgive that.
Okay, first of all, there's a certain number of tiles that you're allowed to knock over before you get penalized. And also, how is that the same as like saying pon with a white dragon when you have 2 red dragons and then making that pon and discarding?
Nothing is the same. It's just mistakes. Like why are some mistakes so forgivable?
Okay, but you're using an entire tile in a set. You're using like 3 tiles that don't go together in a set in a pon. Like that's.
I like for me, the things that people find egregious and the things that they don't find egregious are like, oh, huh, that's interesting. Okay, sure.
Like just saying pon. Oh, sorry, it wasn't pon, but you don't actually change the game at all. But if you use 3 dragons that don't go together in a set in a pon, that's changing the game a lot.
Adding polarity.
Okay. Welcome to the Garth and Noise Gen Hour.
We have a reach.
We've got 3 hours of this, friends.
I think it was Sawazaki. He is waiting for the 3 and 6 of dots.
Wakazu is not holding back. She's going for this flush. And also, is that small dragons? She's got a white dragon pwned.
Got Tempai also from.
Okay, she's got the white dragon pwned and she's got a pair of reds and a pair of greens. But she folds.
She does not. Going.
Yeah, she's at least rolling the hand over. Holy cow, I was looking forward to seeing a Yakuman.
Takuma doesn't have any Dora yet. He was really hoping to get a Dora there for Tenpai. Oguruma is Tenpai waiting for the 4-7, and that's a 6, not quite the right one. Okutsu continues giving up. Takuma continues not to get Tenpai. Will he start to give up? It was a safe 6. Okutsu looks like she has thrown in the towel. Have possibly a new Atama for Takuma. He throws one of dots. And is the 6 of dots safe? It is to throw.
It's not.
Not.
It's not. Oh my god. I wonder if I'm allowed to leave this video up afterward. Hey everybody, hit the like button if you enjoy these banters.
Oguruma throws into Sazaki's hand. It was a big one. Oguruma trying to save. Oh, he's now dealer. I thought it was
Yeah, that would bring us into Oguruma's dealership. Sawazaki takes Mangan plus 8,000 plus or a couple of reach 6 from the hand before. And
that
I thought
helps
there
his
was,
position.
I mean, there would have been a continuance. Oh.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, how were the points so even there? Interesting.
Yeah,
Sawazaki improving his position, perhaps putting him pretty close to second place in the standings.
Yeah, Sawazaki has had some health issues and he's been wearing this hat for a while now. But he's there playing. He's even coming to like WRC League. We are seeing him all the time.
He had quite an operation, as I remember, and was out for quite a while.
Yeah, the first hand was a draw, so there should be some continuances, but I don't see any extra. Maybe they're playing without continuances, but then I'm not sure why they have the continuance marker.
That does seem strange.
I know why it was 7,700, not Mangan. God.
Oh.
That's why. It wasn't a Mangan hand, it was 7,700 points. Because we're playing A rules.
Chi-chi, as it's known. The parlance. Ozaki perhaps going for a half flush hand. We're looking to he's one away from Tenpai. We're looking to make up some points. He was in dead last starting off the game and would really like to put a win together here to get himself back in the running.
Another thing to remember for these games is that it is a waterfall UMA. So anybody above 30,000 points will get a positive UMA, and anybody below 30,000 will get a negative UMA. I should say 30,000 or above. So that goes into the score calculations for their conditions, what they need to move on from this round.
Why my power went off? Why did my power go off? What just happened here? I'm charging my mic. Better. It continues not to get Tenpai. Ozaki is one away from ready. Looks like he could pawn or tune, I think it was, to get to Tenpai.
Now he can definitely pawn to get to Tenpai. I think it was 2 away before.
Right.
And a massive hand, too, of East. Because if he pawns one of those honor tiles, then he'll be waiting for the 147 and the other honor tile. So that's...
8 would also
And there's
be
a
a bit
Dora
of
as well.
tempi.
But Makutu has 2 of the red dragons as well, so it's probably unlikely that he'll be able to pawn or win on that. And Oguruma will
Oguruma
be
does get to tempi.
tempai first, waiting for 4-7 of dot, and the 7 is a Sanshoku mixed sequence hand. But 3 of those are held by Sawazaki.
And the 4 is the Dora, so he's pretty much got to draw it himself. Probably nobody's going to end up throwing it.
There are 3 4s in people's hands as well. There's 1 here. Maybe 2. 1 here. And 1 here.
And
So there's
one
basically
4
one of
and
each.
1 7.
Yeah, left in the wall somewhere.
Good luck, Oguruma.
And that's tempai
And that
for
is
Sawazaki.
tempai. Does he do? He does have a bit of a wall there with the 7s of dots. He reaches with his monster. Of course, there's only 1 east left. Is there an east left?
There are none
Yes,
on
no, there's
board.
no, yes. There are no easts left. Oh, he draws the last 7 for the
more expensive
major
one
points.
by 1 Han, yeah. Even the 4 would have been a Dora, but the 7 gives the Sanshoku, which is 2 Han instead of just 1.
That is a huge draw for Oguruma, putting himself back in the running now that he gets to continue his dealer. He was in last place. Well, he is still in last place, but he gets to continue his dealer and will have a chance to
And that was a real Mahjong.
overtake second. Not fake Mongon like we talk about sometimes.
No, like the Sawazaki won 7,700 as a non-dealer, which was fake Mongon. But Oguruma won the real Mongon as dealer too. So, and the reason I chose this game is because the scores are so close that everybody has conditions they can fight for, even though it's the last game, and that's not always the case.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes when you get in the last game,
a lot of final games.
I mean, yeah, everybody can win as dealer as long as they want, but there's still sometimes when you get to the last game, you're so far behind that you're not really in it. But all these players are very, very much in it, and they only have to get to second place. So that's a very small difference between, for example, Sawazaki and Setokuma, the last place player and the second place player right now, as the standings are.
Oguruma's hand is coming together a little bit here. Looks like he's 3 away from ready with a couple open-ended waits. Wakutu has not had much to work with so far this game.
Yeah, there's a comment in the chat. The lack of Uradora makes winning a reach look so strange. Comment a response to that. Y'all are getting Uradora? Yeah. Makes no difference for me. I get the exact same number as Uradora in A rules as I do in WRC rules.
Tsukuba takes Tempai, but it's Kan Ryanzo gut shot to the 2 bamboos. So he chooses not to reach yet.
Oh, nice fill-in for Oguruma.
Nice gut shot there. He's looking for another gut shot in the 7 to have the nice weight in Pinzu.
Still 1 away, but he keeps the 2 just in case he can stick a 3 to it for an open-ended. Oh,
and
3-sided
now
weight.
We get the reach.
Yeah. That is exactly the upgrade Setokuma is waiting for. And now
Oguruma doesn't want to get to Tempai. Because that 2-0 and it comes out Ippatsu, except that's not a thing here.
Which probably also has some effect on deciding whether to discard that right now or not. In WRC rules, of course, you may decide to discard something else first to skip the Ippatsu, since that's not a factor here in A rules.
He may just continue going for it even immediately following a reach. And Ogura was it kind of in a situation where, look, it's the last game. He needs points. He'd like to continue his turn as dealer. It was a good effort. We move on to Sawazaki's turn as dealer. He's currently in first place. He could seal his position with a nice win here. Wakatsu, who was in first place at the beginning of this game, is falling down now in the standings.
Yeah, but it's
But
still
has
only the East
3
round.
Easts. It's still early, yes. It is still definitely early.
Wakatsu has the most leeway here. Still in first place, even with it being in the 20,000 range. The only person negative right now. Wow, I
Oh, I
can
was all right.
hear your ice.
Yes. It's summer. I can't drink lukewarm water.
It's definitely not summer yet.
I know, but it feels like it.
Does not. It
Right,
feels
it's fair.
warm, but does not feel like
It's fair. It's
summer.
not. It is not as bad as Tokyo summer can be yet.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward
Rainy
to
season
summer.
has not. Oh, look at this. We have a decision to make. Not such a huge decision. The 5 was only a gut shot, so there's a couple of open-ended weights there, and the Takuma. No, that's a Wakutsu. Gets the Tenpai by pulling. Oops. Wakutsu gets a win. Just a cheapie, but she wants those cheapies to just kind of cycle through the hands here and get to the end while she maintains her hold on first place.
Yeah, was it just East and Wandora? I would imagine.
Yes. It gives her still a pretty commanding hold on first place. People who are used to looking at, say, WRC scores may think, oh, 30 points, that could happen in no time. Actually, with the A rules, that, of course, is a lot of points to overcome.
Yeah, I see a lot more hand building going for Yaku.
Ridma has a lot of the wins in his hand. And he gets another triple in the bamboos.
I mean, this
And he
is the
put
sort of
together.
hand that, yeah, in WRC rules, I can't imagine you'd ever go for the flush unless you're in like really extreme circumstances with that 5-5-6 dot on the edge there. But it's actually an option in A rules, I think, to get rid of that 5-5-6, especially when you need points in this, like in this sort of situation.
It looks like he has opted for just going for Henpai. Oh, he's one away from ready here. What does he choose to do?
I mean, West is the most
Does he go for
efficient,
the
but yeah, like we're saying, it's possible that you need to build some value.
5 of dots would be also. Did he throw? He threw the 6 of dots. Okay, so he's looking perhaps at, say, like a San Uncle sort of hand.
Yeah, I think you look at the 3 concealed triples and then just take, if you get like the West, or even if you get an 8 or 3 in the bamboo, I think you probably head toward the flush.
Might. The Takuma is also 1 away from ready.
The thing is, the
Oh, that
value
would have been
in
Tenpai.
Ogure in this hand is in the East, but Wakutsu has two of those East tiles, and as a dealer, I think it's very unlikely that it's coming out of there, of her hand.
That's a good point. I suppose there's also a possibility he could switch to Kitoitsu. I think he would probably end up going for 4 concealed triples before you would go to...
Setokuma is still hanging on to
Oh,
that double twin sequence, a Ryanpeiko shape, but has a double gutty, that Yankan shape in the dots that I don't know if there's. It's slightly more likely the 6 will fill in, but really there's like no 6s or 8s left almost at all.
oh, and now what
No,
does he do
we'll
with
get
that
rid of the.
pair?
No, not. It's a really wide shape, the 3, 6, 5, 8 weight in the bamboos.
Let's put Sawazaki a little closer to Tenpai.
Okay, and I think it might be Wakutsu who we see with the half flush and all pairs hand in the end.
This is Tenpai. He chooses not to take the option that would have given him a Haku. There are already 2 8s on the board. That would have been pretty slim pickings. But if the 6 comes out, he has no Yaku. This said to come up. Oh, now what to do?
The one bamboo
Could
weight
have
is
been
much better for him. Like, look at his discard. He has
4. Oh,
all
yes, he has
bamboos,
several.
but he does not reach.
Still hoping perhaps to get a 2 or 5 in the cracks to give himself Ipeikol and a Yaku. Not really willing to risk a reach stick. He is still in second place.
Yeah, there's a lot
in the
of
overall standings.
That's one away from ready for the all pairs hand for Wakutsu.
Still thinking about whether or not to reach. Oh, that's interesting. He did not want to throw Oda. Okutsu is likely to have to throw Dora if she gets the Tenpai.
No, not likely. If she gets a 1 or a 4 dot, then she's Tenpai waiting for Dora. Or if she gets Dora, she
Right.
can choose the all pairs hand. If she does decide to go for something other than all pairs, then she'll have to discard the Dora. She's one away from all of them, so lots of options.
Ogurama goes for the reach. He goes for San Unko. Little does he know, he's not going to get the east.
And now she commits
perhaps...
to the. No, Wakutsu commits to the all pairs hand. And Setokuma is out.
So there will be no 5s forthcoming for Ogurama either. In all likelihood, Ogurama does not win this hand.
There's a pair of Dora for Setokuma after he's already folded. He'll hold them for defense.
Means that Wakutsu has to draw the last green dragon to get to Tenpai, or she's probably not going for it.
I mean, if she draws the 4,
Yeah,
won't
the
she
red
discard the
dragon
red
or
dragon?
the 4.
But
and
she's
she's
already
also
not going for it. And this is because she's in first place. If she were,
Right.
If the scores were reversed, if she had Ogurima's or Sawazaki's score right now, I think we'd see her going for it.
Pushing a little bit harder, but yeah, she does not need to. She really just needs hands to end without major points going to any other players.
And in a draw, only Ogurima will take the Tenpai points from all the other players. And that
Moves
gets him
himself a
just.
little bit closer. Seto-kuma.
Yeah, I mean, within Mangon range, basically. Mangon sumo range of Setokuma.
And we are into the first hand of the south round. Seto-kuma's last turn as dealer.
Now, of course, all these players have more final table experience than Oguruma, but Oguruma actually has quite a bit of experience as well. You might not have heard his name as much as the other three players, but he's been here for a while, pretty much as long as us.
He won Judansen? Not Judansen. He won Masters?
I'll double check that while you talk about the hands.
Okay. Let's see. Progressing so far, Oguruma is I think 3 away from ready. Sawazaki has a lot of loners. Too much to work with at the moment. And Akutsu draws Dora, but it doesn't actually go with anything at the moment. Pretty much everybody's hands have a ways to go to get to ready. The gut shot for Oguruma.
He won Masters in its 22nd season. He's also won Kyushu things, like, lots of times. And recently, WRC R League.
Won WRCR.
Yeah.
Entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is big. Another pair for Sawazaki.
Yeah, and he only joined 3 years later than us. So he's been around for over 15 years in JPML. So you should remember his name now, if you haven't already.
Yes. Wakutsu appears to be already giving up. She had completed a run in the dots there and just threw it away immediately.
I mean, she just has such a huge buffer, and all the other players are going to be aiming for second place, not for first place. So she's not
Indeed, at the
even
moment,
really going to be targeted.
This is much more a race for second place than overtaking Wakutsu.
Yeah, which is interesting because when you're looking at final tables, then you always have to go for first place only, and you're not allowed to go for second place at all. But in this situation, you have to go for second place. So there's so many different sort of like aspects and conditions that you have to learn in the pro circuit.
Yes. Whether or not you agree with them.
It's interesting. This sort of gives Setokuma an extra block. I'm keeping the sozu. The sozu are kind of extra. And even neither of the three-sided weights will be helpful for him because it will make him furi 10.
Am deciding whether or not to use his pairs there?
Yeah. Do you commit, or do you follow Uzaku and get rid of a pair and he locks in the 5-dot pair?
Probably also like to pawn Lebanon if he gets a chance. And that's Tenpai for Setakuma. It's his dealer, so he is going to push. Waiting for it. Looks like the 1 and 9 of dots, was that? This
Yeah, I wonder if he kept the 7, the 4, 5, 6, 7 shape so he'd be a little bit sneaky with the reach declaration tile. So people might think it has something to do with his hands.
Another pair for Sawazaki. That means that the nons are probably not coming out for Oguruma. Sawazaki giving up, it looks like, so those nons are staying in his hand. Oh, I'm sorry, he's waiting for the 2 and 5 of cracks. Another one of them goes to Sawazaki, so we've got very few of them left in the wall. Two of them over here in Ogurama's hand, one in Sawazaki's, and a deuce in Wakutsu's hand.
Everybody is just out except Satokuma. No one is willing to go up against the dealer with their hands right now.
Certainly nobody has anything worth pushing at the moment. Wakutsu would have had a winning hand had she pushed, but again, like we're saying, she has no real need to. Sawazaki's still giving up. I must feel like Wakutsu is most likely to win this hand. She keeps getting, for some reason, while she keeps giving up, she keeps getting tiles that improve her hand. Another 2 goes into Sawazaki's hand.
I mean, giving up is the time when I get the most useful tiles in my hand.
That is the way it works.
It's the wall trolling you.
And just one more draw to go here.
For each player. Nobody has called, so the south player will have the final draw, which is Oguruma. Last one for Sawazaki.
Tsuji.
Last one.
So he will
for
continue as dealer. Only one finishing Tenpai here. Puts a little more distance again between himself and Ogurama. Would like to increase that distance before it gets to his turn. Ogurama's turn as dealer, and then of course Sawazaki's turn.
Isn't it like Sawazaki does little like pushes his glasses up just a teeny bit, but not like all the way. It's almost like he like is gonna push him up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't want them pushed up. I just want them to stay down." So he doesn't complete the push.
It's the Chuck Schumer of Mahjong. Florida is south. And at the moment, there aren't many of them out there. Another gut shot for Wakutsu, but again, she is probably likely to be giving up her hand soon. Oh, we got a quick pon from Wakutsu. But was that Wakutsu?
Yeah. Pulling the north, I believe.
He's gonna push.
Her seat wind.
That is her seat wind, okay.
I think that's the north. It looks like the north to me. A little bit hard to see on our screen, but
Hoping to end Setokuma's turn as dealer quickly. Will somebody get to Tenpai early and perhaps force her into a dangerous situation?
so yeah, Oguruma is still within Mangan Suma range of second place, even though the difference has widened between him and Setokuma. But that's only because Setokuma is currently dealer, and as soon as Oguruma's dealer turn has passed, those conditions will have changed.
Then it will be Oguruma's turn as dealer, and he will have...
That's why I said as soon as Oguruma's dealer turn has passed, those conditions will change.
That is why. So the Doras are all getting split up in the hands. Who is going to throw Dora first? Another pair for Sawazaki. It's not exactly what he was hoping for at the moment, I think. He holds on to the Pinzu because perhaps he sees Wakutsu holding on to Pinzu, and we're one away from ready for Setukuma. He'd like to draw one of the remaining Dora. Sawazaki continues to hoard Pinzu instead of letting Wakutsu get them. Not Tenpai for Setukuma. And a bit of a decision for Oguruma. Manzu, does he give up on the Manzu? He did throw E1 earlier and then immediately draw down one. Two of cracks. Like that. I'm wondering why he was holding on to the two of cracks. Okutsu is now one away from ready. Not Tenpai. Continues not to be Tenpai for Setukuma. That improves Kuruma's hand. I think he is one away from ready. And Wakutsu is now one away from ready. He has pushed and would be in a tough spot if Setukuma did reach. And Tenpai for Oguruma chooses not to reach because he would just like to quietly end Setukuma's turn as dealer. Tenpai! Will he choose the open-ended weight or he goes open-ended? Decision time for Oguruma. Does he push here and try to end Setukuma's turn as dealer, or does he say, I can fight another day?
Doesn't have
Could
too
throw
many
the
days
three of
left.
dots.
Just 3 hands after this one.
He does still have his turn as dealer to look forward to, so... But, of course, if Setukuma wins this hand, that puts a whole bunch of new distance between him and Oguruma. 3 of dots is safe, but, of course, then he loses a Yaku. He has no Yaku, and that really destroys his weight. He pushes. That's got to be a sign for both Sawazaki and Okutsu.
Yeah, pushes with no reach, so it's like a little, not a shove, but a little push. I just tapped him.
Aku chooses this moment to say, okay, you guys play.
Yeah, it is interesting because a lot of times you'll see the last place player have not much to play for. They have to, like, as soon as their second dealer turn is over, then they don't have much to do. In this case, it's the last dealer who doesn't have much to do. The first place player who doesn't have much to do.
Interesting. Oguruma decides to just push here instead of trying to have to decide every every draw from here on out whether or not to push. So he commits. He's all in.
Yeah,
as
I
one
don't
might
mind
say
it.
in poker. Yes, his decision-making time is over. This makes it easier for him to just...
I mean, your head starts to hurt after a while when you're just
right.
thinking every time, am I still going for it? Am I still going for it?
Oh, is she Tenpai? She's
This is
Tenpai.
Tenpai, and
She
she
pushes.
pushes.
So if the remaining... There is one remaining south in the wall, yes?
And it's Dora.
And if one of the Reachers draws it, it's coming out, and Septikuma would then feel pretty bummed about not choosing Shabo.
She's she's like it's Jihai, it's Jihai. It's an honor. Which honor is it?
That is so the Reachers have to have seen that and been like, oh no, she's still coming.
I mean, I think as soon as she discarded that 3 bamboo, then they knew it. Because she discarded it before Sawazaki did. Sawazaki saw her discard it, and then he discarded it. So as soon as she discarded this 3 bamboo, then they knew she was going for it. But now she's spooked by the red dragon and gives up. And that is the power of reach. Because that would
Reachers out there, yeah.
It's a massive hand for Wakutsu, but it's just the return, the risk that she has to take for pushing that is not worth the return of just being more in first place.
She's not left with a lot of obviously safe tiles here, though. See, the 6 of bamboos did just come out, so it is Suji. He goes for the 8.
She's really worried about the edge tiles. The edges on the honors. I'll leave 2 players
So the last south chooses not to come out.
Is sleeping. That leaves so many sticks on the table. That's 4 reach sticks on the table and 3 continuances.
That right there is nearly 5,000 points.
Just as near as you can get without being 5,000.
Any win is going to be practically like Mahjong.
Excuse me.
So the Dora is the 8 of dots. Tukuma has 1 gut shot to it and a few other combinations. I was like, he starts with a triple. And Wakutsu has 1 completed group and a few other potentials. Not a lot of open-ended stuff to work with for Setikuma. He has 2 5s and 2 6s of bamboos, so there's a double Ryanmenmachi there. Wakutsu does not pair up her 2 of bamboos. Perhaps she's thinking of a flush hand again. The 3 for Oguruma gives him a triple of bamboos. He also has the 4 5 in bamboos, so kind of a nice combination for him to work with. I would just like to get to Tenpai to end Ichikuma's turn as dealer. He's certainly still within spitting distance of Setukuma. This completes a triple for Setukuma. We have a completed triple for Oguruma. The pair for Wakutsu completes the Penchan. Setukuma. I think he's still 2 away from ready, though. Oguruma improves his weight. He's now 1 away from ready with 2 open-ended weights. Either Chun or Sawazaki can get complete, or putting together a pair there. Looks like Wakutsu is probably giving up at this point. Oh, another pair for Setukuma. He gives up on the Dora weight. would like
Ah.
a 4 or 7 to
Ogurima's
give himself the
shapes are
open-ended bait.
yeah, Ogurima's shapes are so like concentrated.
Little does he know that so many of his 7s are already in Ogurima's hand.
Or maybe oh wait, Oguruma, that was Oguruma. That had zeros.
Um,
Oh, you mean the bamboos. I was talking about
Bamboos, yeah.
Oguruma's hand is so concentrated.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, even more
Oh,
concentrated.
interesting. Does he go
That's
for
just
the triples?
2 away from all concealed triples.
He goes that way.
Yeah, what would you do? I would definitely go that way.
I was thinking more of committing to the 3s as a triple and throwing the bamboos.
Huh. But you don't have
Setukuma
guaranteed
could
Tanyao
also,
then.
yes, screw Tanya. Okatsu giving up. Setukuma, can he draw a 5, 6, or bamboos or a 4 of cracks to get to Tempai? So many of the 4s and 7s are no longer available. It's a 6. He chooses not to pwn there.
And Makutsu's like,
okay, you can't.
When she just decides to discard something really fast, she's like, just
Yeah,
the hell out. Get the hell out of this
she
town.
does that. Get rid of this. You don't need no stinking 3.
And she's folding again. Probably no one has seen Makutsu fold this much in any game ever in history or from now on.
Another
All right.
4 that Setukuma would have liked. He's 1 away from there, like you say. Wow. Did choose the right direction.
1 away
perhaps.
from all concealed triples. We coined the
And
phrase.
that gets the Tempai for Setukuma. He's got 3 perhaps concealed triples if he can draw it himself.
That's one of the winners, right? The Oguru Magistral with the 4.
And he's also got that 5 in his hand too. So he gives up pretty quickly, which turns out to be the exact right decision this time.
You know, Sawazaki said that he has never let anyone pawn double east from him.
I did not know that, and I'm not even sure I believe it.
Well, you're all on the lookout now. Can see if he ever does that.
Yeah.
He is 1 away from a Chanta hand.
If you know that to be a thing that he definitely takes pride in, then that's something that, like, as dealer, you're like, oh, yes, East is never coming out from him first. In the East round, he is never going to throw East first.
I do like how the advice he was giving us for Chinitsu, though, for Minchin. After WRCR, I think one evening we were all talking about knowing your weight for full flushes.
Oh, yes.
And
I was going to say, is that the advice?
Yeah.
Understand what you're waiting for?
No. That was not his advice. That was what we are all struggling to do. And he said, well, first you got to just open your hand and then kind of pray, basically. If you think it's probably one of the tiles, you got to open your hand. He said,
Might as well.
He said, Menchin wa shobu da. Toriaizu te wa akete.
Did other people figure out if the tile was your winning tile or not?
Well, I mean, it does go pretty quick. A lot of times people will just say, okay. You're not going to pretend that you never used that before.
I'm not going to pretend that. So Setukuma does put some distance between himself and Oguruma before Oguruma gets his chance as dealer. And in fact, he's gotten pretty close to Wakutsu at this point.
You know, if you added an
It has
N
become
If you added an N to the end of both of their names, they'd sound like superheroes.
Kutsun? Setokuman?
To both, so only two of their names, not all four of them. Both means two.
When there are four people and you say both,
Yeah, but both.
that means
So
Ogurumon?
oguru is like dialect for like disciplining someone, like yelling at them. So he could be oguruman.
I see.
His superhero is putting people in their place.
Setoku-an. Where's Setoku?
Yeah, there is a
The
word
superhero from
setoku.
Setoku?
I think Seto is like, is that a coup? Is there a coup called Seto?
Setagayaku?
I mean, Setoku is like something about like reflecting on things, like philosophically. That'd be good superpower as well.
Would be a power I would like to have. Unfortunately, there's no ability for self-reflection. Tall. Sawazaki fills in one of his gut shots. It wasn't his only gut shot, actually. He's one away from ready, I think. Trying to decide where to...
No, Setoku is, it's not reflecting on things, it's like actually being immoral. So that would be, yeah, it would have to be an evil character. It'd be that would be
Did
his
feel
evil.
like, yes. Setoku had a bad, a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Just couldn't put my
Right?
finger
Yeah,
on
it
it.
does. But
Like it's one of those things that gets said about me sometimes.
yeah, I wasn't reflecting on it. It was like going against the philosophical moralities. So Setokuma would be the evil character
The immoral man.
in this comic. But yeah, immorality man.
And Tenpai for Sawazaki. It's just Pinfu, and he'll take the cheapo to end Setokuma's turn as dealer. That puts him one closer to his turn as dealer.
Yeah, and it's a massive because of all the point sticks on the table.
It's a massive Pinfu. It's practically a Mangan Pinfu.
That's yeah. I mean, you did say that before it started.
Right?
That. But
I saw the future.
But also, there's a lot of value in ending Setokuma's dealership. So not only does it get Sawazaki into third place overall, it also is very important to end Setokuma's dealership so that he doesn't widen the gap between second and third place. So that's beneficial to both Oguruma and Sawazaki, even though Sawazaki moved ahead of Oguruma just now.
Yes, I'm sure Oguruma was hoping somebody would step in and Setokuma's turn as dealer. Setokuman now just hoping to end the game quickly. Oguruma has a pair of souths. I would imagine he wants to protect his turn as dealer, would probably be pawning that as soon as he gets a chance.
Also, we should say for the record that Setokuma has very high morals. He is definitely not immorality man. This is just a comic book character.
Our musings,
Yes.
that we have made up.
He is so like moral and so has such integrity for the game that you may remember in one of the M League games, he had knocked over a tile from the wall. And it was a tile that would end up being his winning tile or his pawn tile. And he specifically removed that part of his hand so that it would be irrelevant, so that he couldn't take advantage of having seen that tile.
Wow. Not like at least one other M League player
I think that was, yeah, it would have
who
been
shall remain
his.
nameless.
I think it was gonna be a gut shot that he was waiting for, and it wasn't necessarily going to be his winning tile. He removed it even before he was tempai. It was just okay. I'm not gonna use that tile at all now, and that's not like a rule.
No, it's yeah, it's win as you like. Wakatsu has pawned something once again, going for a half flush, I guess. Excuse me. Ogurama's hand is he gives up. He's going to go for Tanyao now. Not pairs. One away from ready for Sid Takuma. Currently, the way it stands, he wouldn't have a Yaku unless he reached. Kutsu looking for Shaw. That's her wind. What has she pawned? She pawned something with value? Having filled in the gap for Setakuma, he does possibly have a Yaku. In fact, definitely has a Yaku, but not necessarily a great weight. Another pair for Sawazaki. Threw away one of his pairs earlier, so he's not probably going to go for it.
Well, this
7
is
pairs.
this is a Dora pair, so he locks it in by discarding the 2 character that's a gut shot stuck to it. Not all pairs are equal, and in this case, Dora is definitely superior to the other pairs. I mean, he's shifted to a Tanyao hand, so he can really just call anything to get to Tenpai as well with 2 Dora. And then A rules, the general idea is that you want to build hands that are at least 3 Han or bigger. So if you have 2 Dora, that's already pretty much decided. You just need to get 1 Yaku, and you've got your basic goal for most hands.
Senpai continues to evade Akutsu and Setaguma, and, well, continues to evade everybody. He's a perhaps dangerous fight. I had to think about it, but yes. Little does he know, nobody is Tenpai yet. In a gap for Sawazaki. Away from ready. There's Tenpai. He will not reach. He certainly doesn't need to reach. That is not quite Tenpai for Ogurama. He's 1 away from ready. He really wants Tenpai to protect his turn as dealer. Is that a Monzu that helps him? It is not, really. Could throw the 8 and be able to pawn Rowan or Uwan. Would
Or
add a little bit to
Chi.
his hand.
Yeah, it's definitely wider as far as Tanyao tiles goes. But
Throws the 4.
please.
Interesting. Having threw the 9 earlier, so he's really just looking for not somebody throwing Takuma's winner. And that really hurts
Sawazaki.
Ogurama. Now, changing Ogurama's outlook on the game, he needs to build a massive hand. Sawazaki starting his turn as dealer, will be looking to string together a few wins.
I mean, a
Setukuma,
massive hand, but the thing is, so it's 17.2, 27.2 point difference. If he can get Setokuma in the negatives, then that's going to make a massive difference as well. Because right now,
that does change things a lot.
yes, Setokuma has +1 and Oguruma has +3. So that will change it to +4 and -4. So go from a 3-point difference to an 8-point difference just with that. And in that case, I think a Haneman direct hit is enough. So if he does a Haneman direct hit at any point, he has 2 hands to try and do it.
One-eyed Sumo would also be putting Setukuma pretty close to under 30,000.
So a Mangan Sumo would make a 10,000 point swing, so it would not be enough. Like a Mangan direct hit would get him closer, not quite enough. So it'd have to
looking
be
for at least a Mangan or perhaps Hane Tsumo. Get himself in the running on the final hand.
Yeah, Hane Tsumo would get him closer, but not quite into the right position. But the goal is always by the last hand to get within Mangan Sumo range. Of course, with A rolls, it's a little bit harder to make a Mangan Sumo, so I think it's even better to get within like Go Need Sumo range. 5200 Sumo range. When you're playing WRC rolls, then definitely Mangan Sumo is the goal.
It has a bunch of pairs, but an all-pair hand is not going to really get him in the running. Okatsu has Dora. He's kind of pushing at the moment. As it stands, the stronger hands are not in the players that really need them.
I mean, have you ever experienced something different yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Like every time when I'm in, like last my like one hand before the penultimate hand of the game, and I need like a Mangan hand, I never get it. If I need like a Yakuman hand, then I get easy Mangan tiles in my hand. Like every time.
Yeah, no problem. Another 4 for Oguruma. So now he is only 4 away from Suanko. Will she get Tempai? Not yet.
So we started calling those how many away from Suanko or Kokshi is now called Gen Shanten. Because that's how I count. You know, I used to play on Rondron like before I had this little closet office. And KY would always come up behind me and tell me which Yakuman I should be going for. It did not matter, like, if it was 6 away or...
Yes.
Like, if I had...
Yakuman is...
If I had 2, 3, 4 bamboo and 2 green dragons, then it's always all green. Doesn't matter what the rest of the hand is.
Sawazaki has reached with his Kanchan. He's looking for the 8 of cracks. Not the greatest weight, but it is his turn as dealer. And so he figures, well, I got to do something to protect my turn as dealer. There were no Dora out yet, so he thought, oh, 1 away from ready for, with the, oh no, this is ready. Anyao and Chi Toitsu. It's not ready. That's another pair, so now he really is getting marginally closer to all triples hand, and he knows he has to go for it.
Well, Katsuga does not have to go for anything. Although she is dropping into more of the danger zone if Sawazaki can continue as dealer.
So 3 of the 8 of cracks are already in other people's hands. Oh, 4 of them. Okay, yeah. So none of them are going to be coming out.
I mean, even a continuances dealer is going to be. I mean,
So
even
yeah, that's
exhaustive draw.
that is really the point of this reach, is to try to make everybody else give up so that he can just continue as dealer.
And
3,000 points is
it's
nice. 2,000
working.
net. Gorda for Ogredama, he's definitely not going to throw that. And
Yeah, I think he's just deciding whether he's going to go for, like, commit to an all pairs with this Dora. Or try and go for triples and also possibly use the Dora.
throwing Dora to win for Chitoisu would be, for some pairs, would be Hanuman.
I
There's not a
mean,
lot of
even though,
draws left
yeah,
to get there.
even as late as it is, I think you have to go for the all pairs, but he doesn't, he folds. I don't know. I might go for the all pairs at least. Because that seems like the best shot right now at making up that ground. I guess he's really afraid of dealing into Sawazaki.
The other thing to think about, I think there is perhaps the idea that, look, I mean, I could just go for it here, but if I'm just throwing willy-nilly, then the way I play ends up helping somebody else who would not have normally gotten to a win.
Maybe.
There does seem the idea of being kingmaker while you didn't really have a shot at anything. I have heard people talk about that as a
That's, yeah, but I don't think that when you're going for an all pairs hand with 2 Dora, it's willy-nilly.
right.
I think you would have a strong enough argument about how that is not willy-nilly. And that
Just it
puts,
was kind of late, right?
it
It was
was
kind
late.
of late,
Yeah,
and I think he might have also considered that he was probably not going to get there, and even giving up those points now might still have a better shot
maybe. And
trying to get
Sawazaki
the
is
strong hand
now,
here.
I put Sawazaki back into second place. There is, wait, did she deal in?
Third place.
I meant third place, but Sawakatsu dealt in at that on that last discard, didn't she? When she cheated.
Yeah, I felt like yeah, the 8 of cracks had come out there.
Yeah, she cheated.
It's interesting.
I think she's starting, like I said, she's getting close to the danger zone, so she felt like she had to get a tempai at least. And she ended up dealing in 2,000 points to Sawazaki.
She's, I mean, I think she's feeling more like she's going to start pushing, like while she's still this far away from other players. Like it's safer to push now than later.
Yeah,
She does still
I mean,
have a good 20, 25 point lead on everybody else.
if she wasn't feeling some pressure at dropping closer to third place, because now she's, yeah, that's so loud. Now she's down in second place. So if she wasn't feeling that pressure, then she probably would have just kept folding. I mean, it was the last tile, basically. It was 1 to the last tile.
Also, she did have 2 of the Dorta in her hand, and Sawazaki had thrown the Dorta. She can also kind of reasonably imagine that Sawazaki's hand isn't massive.
True. So it might be worth less than paying if other players were tempai playing, let's say, 3,000 points in the no 10 payments.
Yeah, perhaps just not even the same. Yeah, about the same loss. Rudama once again with 1 triple at least already, and a couple other pairs. So Takuma one away from ready now. And Ogurama, how does he turn this hand into something with more value?
He just drew the Dora, so he's
Dora.
looking. Yeah, he's got the sticky one away. Looking for something to stick to that Dora that maybe
Really hoping, yeah,
Yeah.
another Dora or at least another Dora. Excuse me, and maybe somehow creating Fu and Tanya. Fu, Tanya. Yeah, boy, that's just going to be tough. His one play at the moment is to draw Dora and then draw it again for Izumo Dori Dori Dori. That's Tenpai for Sawazaki. Dealer. That is probably going to put a bit of a stop to any attempts at Tenpai by Wakutsu and Takuma. I mean, he continued pushing. He throws the safe 2. Safe in that it was the whatchamacallit, Tsuji for Sawazaki's hand, I think. Yes, for the 5 he reached with. People don't know that Sawazaki's weight is not that great.
Satokuma's weight he has the Entotsu 473 weight with a Dora.
Kind of broke up his weight and also doesn't have Aku anymore.
Yeah, discard the 8 just in case he can re-tempai with the 6 with the Tanyao so he doesn't have to reach.
There's the Dora that we were talking about.
After conning the 2 dot, of course there's no new Dora.
And once he immediately gives away his reach stick to Sawazaki.
And Sawazaki will
Big win
continue
for
as dealer.
Sawazaki.
Big.
That digs an
Sawazaki,
even
the
deeper hole
genius.
for Oguruma.
Sawazaki is a genius. I don't know. He might just make it. He came into this game in last place.
He could eke out second place here. Actually, if he takes second place, he could just easily take first. Because first and second at the moment are pretty close together. Either one of them is likely to throw in to Sawazaki unless something very strange happens. Takuma starting off with 2 red dragons. Is he going to try to take an early win? Or a cheap early win if he gets a chance? Wakutsu's hand is not worth a lot at the moment. She will probably not be pushing too hard this end. She still has her turn as dealer. And of course still has some distance, so probably not feeling too much pressure to push it right away. Get the feeling Oguruma might be just throwing in the towel. He had perhaps a Kokshi-like hand that he doesn't seem to be aiming for that at all. To come up 7 pairs looks likely. Sawazaki fills in a gap. He is now 1 away from ready, but with
1 away, but
2 crappy
all the shapes are
heavyweights.
crappy. Yeah.
A Kanchan and a Penchan. But he did just throw his winner on the not so great Shabo, completing a run for Wakutsu. Takuma is 1 away from ready with 7 pairs. Empai for Setukuma. Aku will probably not be coming out from Oguruma unless there's a reach. Oh, that improves his weight a little bit. So now if he can draw the 3 of Embus, he can have... Oh! Quick winner by Setuguma, and that really changes everything.
Yeah, now we're going into it. Wakutsu basically just wants to get no 10. Setoguma can just win whatever. I think that we'll have the conditions up here on the screen as well. Once the scores are all paid, everybody is looking at their own conditions.
20 points to make up for Sawazaki.
Yeah, 20 points, but he's already...
He has returned his dealer.
I mean, it might...
Yeah, he's
a
already...
bit easy. It might be a little bit easier to try and bust Setokuma down. So if he wins from Setokuma, he only needs 7,700 points. But if he wins from Wakutsu, he needs 12,000. If he wins from Oguruma, he needs 24,000. Oguruma needs Tsumo Baimon, 4,000, 8,000. Yeah. Or Yakumon from Sawazaki. Or 12,000 Hanemon from Setokuma, or Baimon from Wakutsu. Wakutsu, it gives her the win conditions, but really she just wants to be no 10 at the end. Setokuma just needs to win anything from anybody, because the top 2 will move on.
That is interesting. Yeah, I forget about the fact that because of the way the Uma is set up, Setokuma, winning from Setokuma, even though he's in first, he actually needs fewer points from Setokuma.
Yeah, because Setokuma has a positive score right now. Yeah, so if he's dropped down to negative, then it will be easier for Sawazaki. Now look at the scores going into the game. Yeah, look at the scores going into the game instead of the scores as they stand right now with all of the Uma and everything counted for. Because he was much closer to Setokuma than he was to Wakutsu. And that's where the difference is.
So the players, they of course do not get this little chart that we have.
It's right there on the... Well, I don't know, maybe. Well, they usually tell the players nowadays, because they don't want any players to mistakenly win a smaller hand and ruin the whole story. So really? I don't know. It depends. I mean, I've never been on one of these final tables, so I don't know. But generally, yeah, the players are...
But I feel like that's pretty new.
I see Fujisaki there in the background. Yeah. I mean, on a lot of the women's competitions that I played, they did that.
Interesting. I have not seen that yet. Of course, it's been a while since I've been on a final table. Interesting to see how Setokuma approaches this. Like, does he try to put together? Yeah. What is Oguruma's play? He needs Akumon. Not a lot to work with for Oguruma there.
I mean, he only needs Baimon if he tsumos, so...
Baitsumo.
I think aiming for Baimon is sort of the right play for Oguruma. Baimon Tsumo or Baimon from Wakutsu. Setokuma, and I'm sorry, Sawazaki capable of building 7,700 points and then winning that specifically from Setokuma. That's
does need it from a pretty specific place. Yeah.
And we still have not seen him let anybody pull in the double east this game. Even in the South
The
round.
story still holds up.
Well, he's
Perhaps the whole
working
Itsu
towards,
hand.
yeah.
Popin. Dora with Wopin, he's holding on to Popin. Perhaps a little extra time, longer than he needs to. Did you? Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay.
You're saying the right stuff though, and he does release the 8 dots that popping. So Tokuma trying for a quick Pinfu type hand. That is.
What does he?
See the
Struggling
hand
to put
is,
together.
I mean, the hand is pretty good if you don't have any conditions.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were in league with 27,200 points and you got that hand, you'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, you'd just be like, okay, I will take the points.
Yeah, Pinfu, Dora.
And
Go ahead
Tanya.
and reach this, and yeah, possible Tanya. Reach, and I'll get
That's
just
Dora.
above 30,000.
Kawasaki does not feel like he can use Dora. Tokuma still hoping, perhaps, get to a cheapo win. Another Sozu for Sawazaki, although it doesn't actually complete anything at the moment. Still one away from ready for Setukuma. Here we have Tempai, but not enough points. So he'd like the 8 of cracks to give himself possibly Sanchoku. Then he would definitely need the 6 of dots to also make Sanchoku. I think if he were to draw...
He lets the middle Manzu go. Just one away. Yeah, one away from
And
right.
now he's Tempai, so I bet he's going to reach with the 5 of cracks and hope he can draw the
Is that
8
even
of cracks.
enough? Mintan Bin San Shokudora is not even enough. Tsumo.
Sumo.
He needs one more.
Sumo. Oh, yeah.
Mintan Bin Tsumo. San Shokudora. He needs Ura. He needs Uradora.
I wonder what his plan is there.
Maxi just working towards her no 10.
So Takuma's still one away from ready.
I think Oguruma is waiting for another Dora, maybe? If he has one more Dora, it will work.
Oh, okay, so he's going to switch out. That make that his new Tama, hoping to draw another Dora and another Dora?
No, he can switch out the 3 dot for the 6 dot. Right here, see?
Oh, I see, right.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
So even if he gets the 8 character, then he can discard the 3 and hope to draw Dora.
One of the stupid things I keep doing is sometimes I look at the thing up there and I think that's the Dora indicator and not.
We all do that.
Yay.
I did it 4 times yesterday. So, you're in good company. Well, if you consider me good company, look at this.
This Tempai. No, it's one away from Tempai.
One away from Tempai, but it's so late. It's so late.
There's another one of the tunes that he needs, the Red Dragon. Takuma probably just giving up at this point.
It's the wrong side again. Come on.
What a pisser.
Okay, that would be...
That's not Tempai again.
But he seems so excited
Possible.
about the 7, though. It jumped. Did you see it jump from his head? He had to hold on to
Another
it because
red
it
dragon.
jumped
Yes.
so high.
Another red dragon going the wrong place for Sawazaki. Can you get to Tempai? No. I think we are nearing destiny. Looks like a Wakutsu Seitokuma sort of game.
It does, but what a treat to watch these players. That would
It's
be
Tempai.
Chitoi, Hoitsu.
3 of dog, or the 3 of bamboos
If
from
Setokuma can
Sawazaki,
discard,
from
yeah.
Setokuma.
If
Yeah.
he can get it from Setokuma on the last discard, then he moves on. But
So you're saying there is a chance?
oh wait, oh sorry, I have a shadow in there.
Yeah, I was wondering what was happening there. Like
That was
weird,
from
exciting mood.
yeah, that was from this other editing thing that I did. So we
Mood
don't have
making.
the scores for everybody in these games at the end, so it just kind of got left in. And that is it. Wakutsu and Setokuma moved on from this to the second qualifier.
Kind of the way the game started off, but in the middle of it, there was certainly excitement created by Sawazaki and Oguruma to see if they could their way into second place.
Yeah, they're really fun games to watch. They're not like new or anything.
Yeah, it's just fun to watch players playing for big stakes.
Yeah, and it's fun to have some English commentary added to it. We're going to take a quick break. Actually, I'm going to let Nathaniel take over for me because I'm actually pretty sick still. So I was having a lot of trouble not coughing. But we'll just take a quick break and we'll be right back with Garth and Nathaniel. And the next game is going to be the 2023 Mahjong Grand Prix Max from the second round qualifiers. So that's 2 years ago. So
I'm going to get quieter water.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, we'll be right back.
All right, catch you in a bit. And we're back with me again and Nathaniel taking over for Jen, who is ailing at the moment. Welcome to the stream, Nathaniel.
Wish you a speedy recovery, Jen. Fantastic to be here with you, Garth, though. Looking forward to this next match.
Yes, fantastic for me to be doing it with true professionals, since I am still pretty green at the whole commentating thing. Oops. Oh, that's okay. Right there in the title, it does say that Nathaniel is the WRPM World Reach Professional Mahjong Pro. So congratulations on joining that rarefied air.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a recent thing that new title, but I get to match your own JPML. I think maybe yours is a bit more prestigious at the moment, but we'll see what the future has come.
You're in the whole world.
That's very, very true.
We just had what's his name on our show, Tomotake, and he was saying actually that he felt like his world title was a bigger deal than his Hoi title because of the world thing, not just Japan.
That's very true.
There you go. So you and Tomotake are in the same category.
Fantastic. The players we're about to watch are also incredible players.
Yes, at the top of the leagues, top of the game. We've got we've got Kaicho. That's Moriyama. He's the current leader of our of Japan Pro Mahjong League, and I think I heard that we have Yoshida in there, who is the current leader of the North Kanto League, which Jen and I also play in.
Fantastic.
And I forget who the other two players are. Nishikawa, another one of my favorites. He has his own mahjong parlor in Chiba. He often has us as guests there, and right, well, he has some of us as guests there.
Maybe I'll get the chance when I visit Japan this summer.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yes, we'll have to take you around. Okay, shall we get into it?
Grand Prix. Looks like a very serious environment.
Yes.
I can't imagine. I haven't played at a table with this many cameras yet.
Oh, really?
So I can't imagine what it feels like to be at one of those. But you've got
watch your elbows. Don't. Okay, looks like we're starting off with Moriyama as dealer. Oda is the 5 of bamboos. You can see their current scores. This is the final match of this stage, and as it turns out, I do realize that I was thinking of the wrong Yoshida. This is Yoshida Chokuchoku, as people sometimes say. The name would be Tadashi, but the kanji for his name can also be read as Choku. So endearingly, he can be called Yoshida Chokuchoku.
It looks like in this series, in this final game, Nishikawa with the advantage, 39.1. Relatively close, positive 18.7. Moriyama plus 7.9 as the first dealer. At Sasaki has the most work to do at a negative 65.7.
There's a lot of ground to make up, but if there is a player who could do it, it would be him.
But I think one of the first pro games of Mahjong that I ever saw was you and Jen commentating on a Sasaki match, and he ended up winning.
Really? Wow.
I became a Sasaki fan after that.
Yes, I think he is also pretty hugely popular as far as M League is concerned. I think he's probably at the top of the popularity list.
We see the face cam. Moriyama is guarding the 3-mon.
Yoshida is still 2 away from ready. Ishikawa really just looking, probably not looking to take a lot of chances here. He just wants to win the game as quickly and cheaply as possible. Yoshida gets another one to add to his. So he looks like he's got a possible Sancho group coming here. If you could draw the right tile for Tempai.
Oh, early Tempai window. Sasuke will take it. No reach here, just the Haku, but a pair of Dora will definitely bring some value to the hand.
Interesting that he doesn't push for a lot of points early on. He just goes for the quick, okay, I'll take a few points and start as dealer. How will his attack? I wonder how his attack will be now that he is dealer.
I do imagine he'll be pressing with everything that he's got. It's funny when you win a hand that quickly at the start of the game. It really does feel like you're the first dealer.
How Moriyama feels about losing his turn as dealer quickly there and losing a couple points too.
Always a little sad to miss out on your first dealer opportunity, but one more in the South round.
Does push him pretty a little bit, that puts a lot of distance between him and Yoshida now. He also has a lot of work to make up here in the. It's still early in the game, but adds to the work he needs to do to get back into second place.
A Pandora pair for Moriyama is a great start to that goal. Of these Monzu coming together for Nishikawa. 1 through 7 Mon. Maybe we get the full straight.
Another pair for Yoshida.
Sasuke Pon.
Does want to protect his turn as dealer, so he takes that first pawn.
Ooh.
Like you say, extending the Monzu for Nishikawa.
And you noted earlier, he doesn't really need all the points in the world. And maybe you can just open this hand and play for the Itsu only, or I guess there's a door shape as well, Itsu Dora 1. No need to greed for the full flush, or the half flush, I should say.
Right. He can also pawn the east now and just go for the cheap win that way.
Having the backup pair of 9-1 helps a lot.
Right. There are already 3 9s of dots on the table, and there's one over here in Sasaki's hand. So it does leave him with not as many possible tiles to win with as he'd probably like.
Wonder if at any point he'll choose to just open preemptively with a 6 or 9 pin. So the last 9 pin were to come out.
Could choose, yes, either the Itsu or East Wait. They choose the. There's Tempai. So he's waiting now for only the 6.
And 9 pin all have come out at this point. I think we saw 1 6-pin discarded and 2 in hands, so not a live wait, not very live, but there is one in the wall. Sasuke opens up one more time, Ishan down.
Completing another triple for Yoshida, but not much else to work with in the hand, so he chooses not to go that direction.
Small hesitation on the 7-pin. The 6-pin is such an awkward weight that maybe he considered for a moment to switch to the 7-pin 9-mon Shabo, but the 9-mon, I believe, is also cut at least once. On a tile near door and discarding the door even is really a tricky thing to do.
Interesting. Moriyama seems to have chosen Chitoitsu. He threw the 6 of cracks. And that would have completed another run for him. This gives
it always
another
feels
open-ended wait for Sasaki, sorry.
I was gonna say it always feels to go that way when you finally make the commitment to go to Chitoi and then one of your sequences fills out. But this is a big opportunity. If he does get the Chichois, we see Sasaki find Tempai.
Waiting for Dorda, so the Dorda is not likely to come out. Might get a 5. Oh, poor Moriyama. Just keeps drawing not quite what he really wanted. This is looking a lot like Sasaki extending his turn as dealer.
Ishanta for Yoshida. Ishikawa still looking for that 6 pin again. Not many of those left.
There's still 1 left in the wall.
As of last count, and I don't believe anyone's drawn it since. At this point, you've kind of come to the conclusion that everyone's either Tempai or Ishantan. We're almost to the end of the hand, middle of the third row. Moriyama is the farthest away, might have to be a little bit more defensive, but with the 2 door, you really want to fight.
Sasaki manages to get there. It's a cheapie, but more importantly, he gets to continue his turn as dealer.
We'll be looking to do a lot of that.
Only about 5 or 6 more hands increasing in value like that, and he'll be right in the running.
Hopefully worth a little bit more than 500 all, but...
Right, yeah. Keeps just doing that, he's only gaining another 300 points per hand. Yeah, it's not quite what we're looking for.
Seemed like not the fastest, no completed blocks for Sasaki, but he did have reasonable shapes with which to build from. So as a dealer, I might be pretty satisfied with this as a start.
Yes, he does have some open-ended weights to work with.
Door 8 Mon. Yeah, but this time not with a pair of Dora. Already with a completed shape and some interesting extensions of the So's. It could draw 5 So for Ipeko. He's advancing quickly.
To come together. Yeah, I could move towards Tanyao here.
My brain is trying to find the Sanchoku. There is a 2-3-4 possibility, but it's a little bit.
It's a bit of a stretch, right? His hand, like every time his draw just keeps ending up right behind the word English. Plays with his hand shifted far to the right.
Oh, these Mon tiles there. I'm assuming they're very helpful to him, but
right,
we can't tell what they are.
He keeps collecting.
Which is assumed that's continued progress.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good. Fantastic
that
draw.
It improves the Sozo. It gives him possibly Ipeko.
I feel
trying to decide whether, he's trying to decide, I think, between the Kanchan there, because he might have Sanchoku with the 2-3-4, right?
Exactly. And of course, the 7-8 pin is, could have an open-ended shape, but also you lose Tanya sometimes with the 9-pin draw. Right. I just think that the value of Sanchoku is so strong, and of course, 2-3-4 Sanchoku is amazing.
That's what he chooses.
Biased perspective, I'm very happy to see Moriyama choose the same.
And we got Tempai, I think, for Yoshida. He chooses not to reach. He doesn't need the points, but he doesn't have a Yaku unless it's the 7 of dots, I believe.
I think he's got the 7 already.
Okay. He's waiting for the gut shot 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a Yaku.
Ipeko. He still looking to fill a couple Kanchan shapes. No Dora for Yoshida. So Richi, Ipeko, not particularly strong without the chance to hit some Uda, especially on that awkward weight. So it could improve with a pin draw to an open-ended weight.
For Ishanten, I think he hasn't reached yet. So I think he's just going for a cheapo win because he doesn't need points. And he doesn't want to call attention to himself either. They would like to just kind of sneak off with that win. Nishikawa holding his west, so he does have a Yaku there. Sasaki improving his weight because that gives him probably Tanyao. Ishikawa really just looking to escape with a cheap win. Sasaki one away from ready. Figure he's probably going to chi the first chance he gets because he really wants to protect. There it is.
Chi. Now will this be tempai or greed? Just the tempai.
This is Nishikawa, yeah.
So definitely no need to greed with that lead.
Right. He doesn't need the points. He's just going to go, tempai, and he reaches. But that turns out to be Nishikawa's win.
Great demonstration of why we don't need to greed for points when you've got the lead. Imagine tempting fate there, going for the flush, and seeing the dealer reach, all of a sudden there'd be regret, I'm sure.
Huge regrets. Nishikawa playing very solid. Ends Sasaki's turn as dealer and continues to hold and continues his grip on first place. Ishida starting with a couple white dragons. Again, he doesn't need the points. Again, he's hiding his Manzu at the end of the wall there.
But hide and seek with the commentators.
Moriyama, without a lot to work with here, needs some points. He's got 20 points to make up for against Yoshida. Still a fair amount of time.
Yeah, with the scoreline in this game, there is a chance of placement considerations as well. That can change pretty quickly, depending on the value of the hand, of course. Now, as Sasaki here, even though it's just East 3, are you going to play for a monster since your dealership is passed?
Yeah, that's a tough question. How big? How much are you just planning to get back to your turn as dealer and making up the difference entirely there, or are you really trying to get to your dealer with a fair number of points?
Right, like question: what is your minimum value here? Is manga good enough? Hanuman, Daimon, or do you need to just go for the Yakuman on your non-dealer turns?
Right.
It's like he's playing very greedy. It's like perhaps a
It does kind of look like a Kokshi, right? And we are one away from ready with
oh my
Peiko. I went for Dion Peiko this weekend, and it was the death of me.
That's unfortunate. It's such a beautiful hand.
Right, and the thing is, I mean, I reached with it when I should have just held on and waited for Dora. Because, Dora I ended up throwing it in somebody's hand, and the payoff is just so weak. It's one more fun instead of Itoi Doriroi.
If you make a petition to increase the value of Dion Peiko, I will sign it.
Yeah, I have suggested this endlessly, but I'm not getting a lot of support.
Maybe some additional international support.
Yes, now that we have somebody
on this.
somebody in the WRPM. That's what I've been waiting for.
Ishikawa still waiting for 1-4 so, 5-8 so.
Oh, another Dora for Moriyama. This puts him a little closer to the Chitoi Dori. He fingers Dora as if he's going to throw that away. Ishida still not quite getting to ready. I will take this opportunity to get rid of that dangerous fight. Oh, is that another Hatsu? Or another Pei?
Hello. It's starting to look realistic now.
Points. This could be a big hand. Not quite. 3 San Uncle perhaps for Nishikawa also.
Yeah, not quite the tile that he was looking for, but it does improve his tile acceptance, so hang on to it for the time being.
Oh, not quite what he was looking for.
But can play.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think north. I see 1 out. I see 2 out, I believe. So yeah, I couldn't.
So he's thinking more Mensu hand, as one would say.
The 2 Dora, perhaps, could even argue for the open. Yoshida finally hitting Tempai, 1-4 pin. Pinhu.
And Moriyama's hand slowing down here, just not quite getting the draws he needs to get to Tenpai. A nice big hand. Sasaki's hand has also stopped improving.
Yeah, it was.
And there's
always
Tenpai.
a little bit difficult. 5-8 so. For viewers who
Moriyama
are
closer to Tenpai.
Yeah, for viewers who are familiar with WRC rules, you're going to see a lot more Dama in this match.
Especially, that was an 8-8 at the end there. I thought it looked like 8-9. I didn't realize he was Tenpai.
It is the Pifutsumo.
Sneaky win for Yoshida. He didn't need the points, but it does end some dreams of Moriyama and Sasaki trying to put some points together.
Yeah, a little bit of buffer space is always a good thing. You're just afraid that your dealership will end with a big sumo that ends up costing you more than what you gained with that small hand.
Hoping somehow somebody else pays the price. Let's see. Players looking to put together a miracle. We got Sasaki and Moriyama, who don't seem to have miracle-making hands at the moment.
No, they look very, very average. Great for Richie Pinfu, but not good for much else. It's Yoshida who has like the palm.
Yoshida's hand is the one that looks like it's gonna really pay off. Could have a full flush or a half flush forming in Moriyama's hand. Yoshida will move towards using Dora instead of the flush.
No need to force it. It's good to hold Dora too. There we see the open June call. Went away from Tempai for Yoshida.
Oh, and here we have Sanchoku. Oh, he doesn't need Sanchoku.
Ooh,
So he go for the cheapie.
the temptation was strong, but Ishikawa not needing the value. Again, we're going to see him play the most low to the ground way, Dama Pinfu.
So not a lot. Oh, an unneeded 8 of dots there for Sasaki. If he gets there, he's gonna. Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody's gonna throw into Nishikawa there. Turns out to be Yoshida. Not a huge loss for him. Still a fair amount of distance between Moriyama and Yoshida.
And those two players, Yoshida and Nishikawa, will be completely satisfied, passing 2,000 points back and forth until the game ends.
They are allies at this point.
We'll see dealership advance then to Ishikawa.
This was one of those spots where I always, not that I'm often in this kind of spot, but as, top, you'd really just like, I'll just pass my turn as dealer. How about that? Because, you don't need points. You really just want the game to move on.
Mhm.
What is your strategy going into this hand?
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you open up your high pie and it's strong. Like I didn't want this, but
how can I
guess I have to play for this now.
Right there.
In this case, it's not bad. It's not amazing. It's kind of in that middle ground that's hard to decide. The thing is, if you just sit by idly and do nothing, maybe that allows time for the players chasing you to build a monster hand of their own.
To catch up, right?
Yeah. I think Ishikawa would probably just be playing relatively straightforward, nothing too defensive, but maybe keep an escape route in mind in case things look scary.
Right. Also not too aggressive.
Unlike Sasuke, who's opening whenever he felt like he needed to maintain his dealership, Nishikawa will probably just stay closed and maintain the maximum number of tiles with which to fold.
Looks like Moriyama is aiming for a Pinfu Dorda, and hopefully he's probably trying to get to Tanyao also. 2 away from ready for Nishikawa.
Nice force, so upgrade for Moriyama.
Yoshida will chi, so he's looking for a cheap hand here to just try to keep the game moving along without getting too many points into enemy hands.
Relatively early on and very close to Tenpai. Nice collection of tiles to be drawn towards that Tenpai for Yoshida.
Chooses to hold on to, I guess, perhaps the safe 9 of dots, thinking that the 8 of dots is less likely to pair up for his Tanyao. Still no Tenpai for Yoshida. We are closer and closer to Tenpai for Nishikawa.
It definitely would be awkward to end up on just the 6-0 middleweight. I think he'll rather break that Tenpai and try to find something else.
There's Tenpai for, and here is Tenpai for Nishikawa. We got Tenpai, no Yaku for Nishikawa, and the only Yaku I think for Yoshida is 4 of dots.
Yeah, so not the greatest options for either player. Interesting.
Could have changed his weight.
The shape.
Interesting, yeah. He could have thrown the 7 and waited for something to go more nicely with the 6 of dots.
Yeah, certainly, there may be some Shiri-ten concerns with the early 2-so cut, but well,
that would have been a winner had he chosen that route.
And just breaks completely.
Up.
Did you ever do that? You just get it back for and say, you know what? I've made a mistake. It's over for me. I need to get out.
That's a strategy or a way of thinking that I remember. I think it was Ito Yuko said once that if you miss your win, like you've missed it, and it's just time to give up. Like he said that his theory is in a lot of situations to just give up as soon as that. Oh my gosh! And now he threw the 6 too. You only have so many chances to win, and if you've thrown one of them away, well, that was it.
We'll see how many more chances we'll have. Maybe the path was just to get 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku the whole time.
Yes. Very specific winning hand.
As he straws and move that direction, it's another Tenpai.
Back to Tenpai.
The wall refuses to let him fold.
It just does not want to let him lose.
I want to see the Shiri-ten sumo after all of this.
Moriyama looking for a Dorda to give him a little bit of extra points.
At the stage, unlikely to see one come out from the other players. But the wall says no.
No longer in his favor either. Yoshida does not draw the winner, and Nishikawa will open up his funny...
All players win Tenpai.
Free 10. Was that everybody was Tenpai except... Everybody was Tenpai? Or...
I think Sasuke found the 6-so Kanchan.
Oh, okay. I thought he was... I missed it. So no new ground opened up between the players.
Sen Pandora.
Still 20 points to make up for between Moriyama and Yoshida. Currently, it's really a game between those two.
And Sasaki goes in a south dealer run, or we see the Yakuma.
Oh, okay.
Wow, pairs of dragons here. Chun pair and Haku pair.
Interesting. Yoshida does not choose to hold on to. Oh, he'd already thrown 40. So yes, it was already disappointment. Yoshida could be putting together a flush.
Yeah, especially after having drawn that Dora tile, it's already had the shapes he needed. So incorporating that is going to be a little interesting. There's a call, and now 3-2. So
He will continue to go for the flush. An exposed 8 of cracks. What does that mean for rules? And they just put it back. No problem. No harm, no foul.
Fortunately, not the biggest concern. Small errors like that happen.
Yeah, depending on the Dantai, depending on the group you're in, that can be a rather surprisingly large offense, or, not that big a deal after all.
I have to be careful about my sleeves as I reach over.
Exactly, yes. So that's why I don't like wearing a suit. Yoshida continues the flush play.
And now Nishikawa has all these pin tiles that are very difficult to discard. Everyone might have second thoughts about discarding a pin tile at this point. As the second Dora comes into hand. No Dragon Dreams.
If he has a chance to chi, like say the 9, he's going to have to throw Dora. I wonder how willing he's going to be to do that.
Yeah, that's interesting, especially hitting the middle of the second row, so players might have had some time to get into a sneaky tempai. I think maybe at this point...
Really like Haku. I don't think the Haku is going to be coming out from Nishikawa.
After 2 calls, I think you might as well just take what you can get, even if it means risking the Dora discard.
Might also be looking at Moriyama and like the progress of Moriyama and Sasaki's hands and think, they're not tempai yet anyway. I'm probably still safe. And this looks like Moriyama's going for a chi toits, like 7 pairs hand using Dora, moving towards Tanyao now too.
We've seen a couple of those now from Moriyama. That is a way to collect a lot of points at once, if you can get a pair of Dora. It's also a way to defend, because you never have to discard the scary-looking pin tiles. You just hope to pair them up.
A little bit unfortunate that he had just thrown the one of bamboos. Interesting, when Yoshida draws and then doesn't bring the tile all the way to his hand, you almost get the feeling that maybe he might be tempai. Like he doesn't need to move the tile all the way to his hand because he is, in fact, already ready.
It's very easy when you're ready. You know exactly what you're looking for, right?
Right. But I wonder, but he's not ready. So then I wonder, is that a play that he's making to try to kind of intimidate other players into thinking that he is ready already?
I wouldn't be too surprised. I do think that is could be a valid thought here. Certainly, reading body language is kind of a big part of playing live. I mean, you don't actively think about it so much, but you can't help but notice, right?
Right. Interested to see in the next hand how much he doesn't move the tile all the way to his hand when he draws.
Get a comparison.
Once again, it looks like Yoshida, or not Yoshida, Nishikawa is kind of just giving up, and he keeps getting the draws that keep tempting him kind of back towards Tempai. There's Tempai.
This late, well,
oh, now that he thinks about it too, that's like everybody's just like, oh, okay. There won't be any Pinzu coming out from anybody after this. Could Haku? There is still one Haku in the wall. Where will that Haku go?
she thought we'll have a chance at it. And misses. Finds the 3-pin, so safety for the rest of the table. And Nishikawa follow cuts, 3-pin, new Kyoku. Only one Tempai.
Give the Tempai to Yoshida. That puts some extra ground between him and Moriyama. This is Moriyama's last turn as dealer. His chance to make up some ground.
We saw incredibly speedy play. All these players extremely experienced, and they know exactly what they're doing. I wonder if things will slow down a little bit, just the slightest bit, as you enter the South rounds. A lot more limited options.
I feel like, yeah, they have a little bit more they have to think about. Make the hands big.
Each of the hands becomes a bit more important as there are fewer of them.
Not a lot to work with for Yoshida and Nishikawa. I would expect them to be giving up pretty quickly. 2 nons for Sasaki. He might home those because that's his double non, and also push towards a flush hand. Dora's also, he could get extra points if he can work that into his hand too.
8,000 points is a small total, small amount, grand scheme of things, but it is progress. It's a snowball. It starts rolling.
Yeah. Completing a run for Moriyama. He doesn't need to put together such big points at the moment. He would really just like to continue his turn as dealer.
It has discarded the door already, so making a statement.
There goes another Dora. So, and we'll be getting super expensive for Sasaki in that respect. Well, unless he can keep it entirely closed.
So?
Another pair. For expensiveness' sake, I'm sure it's not quite what he was looking for, probably.
It's something I'm curious if he decides to call here. Shapes are not that bad, so ideally you'd like to continue to draw connectors to your pairs and turn them into sequences for a little bit more value.
Is one away from ready.
Dora, Sasaki will hold on to it. There is one remaining in the
one out there. And Chitoitsu is still a possibility. That improves his weight there a little bit. Throw the 6 of cracks. Probably for efficiency. Okay, good. Sasaki, one away from ready. Honing non does not actually get him any points, I think. Oh, and the reach. Anyway, with a nice shape reach, he's waiting for the 4-7 of bamboos.
Big opportunity, Dealer Ricci.
Down to bamboos, and let's see, there are 3 of them already in Nishikawa's hand. Oh, and there are 3 right here in Sasaki's discards. So there's just one left, I believe, right?
Oh, but he finds it.
What a draw.
1P Hu Tanyao. And that's a nice sum of points for Moriyama's hopes. You said he was about 20 points behind this entire time. Lost a few more at that last draw, but did win here is a big deal.
This is a good, I'd say close to a 10,000 point swing on all three
Absolutely.
players. That helps. So right now, he has moved into second place with that? I think he did have Dorda. No, he didn't have Dorda there. Was that Nidoku old? Was that $2,600 or was that actually Mangan? I feel like
I
he's
believe
made
it was 26. Maybe. Yeah, it should be. But it has barely
made up so much ground there. That has to have been a Mangan hand. Like I believe there must have been a Sanchik in there or something.
As is over 30,000 points, the only player, so we get to see the unique Uma come into play. And all of a sudden, the three players behind, it's a bit amusing to see how close this game has become.
Scores for this game are, of course, very close. Their totals at the moment.
And the yellow of the totals.
He has managed to overtake Yoshida now. So it changes everything also because that pushed Yoshida down into the negatives and him up and he's the only player in positive right now. Oh wow. So that is amazing how much. So it was only 2,600 points all, but with the fact that moved him from third place into first as the only person with a positive score. So everything could change, a lot.
Absolutely. If one player jumps over 30,000, even if they don't take over, it's very easy for one of the players to surpass Moriyama with just a 2,000 point hand. So a tenuous sort of lead here for Moriyama.
Tenuous. Well done with tenuous. Yes, that's the word we were looking for.
But still South 1. Lots of time for Moriyama to extend the lead, for the players to catch up. Nishikawa's already opened up here and finds himself Ishantam.
He is still the one with the most commanding lead. He doesn't really need to risk much to stay in the lead here.
Moriyama in a somewhat interesting position. We'll get to see it after this discard. These completed shapes holding the 8-so Tanki.
How to improve this weight?
Well, not making it easy. Flops over to the 3-mon.
Yeah, the wall is really not making it easy. Another Manzu for Yoshida. His 3 Manzu.
But not there yet. So that connects.
That improves the weight. Will not reach with it.
Maintaining the Dama. Senpai for Sasaki, 456 Sanchoku, putting on the 5-so. Advances.
Continue to push. And that gives Moriyama the winner. Interesting. So he didn't reach there. I mean, I guess it's true. It was just Pin Funomi. He is now in a very different position since he doesn't need huge points. Although, yeah, like we were just saying, any flipping of from positive to negative changes everything
Yeah, and that's what makes the Ricci so challenging, because that 1,000 points that you're placing onto the table is worth a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah. When you're only 1,000 points away from 30,000, yeah, it's a swing from that's that. Excuse me. That 1,000 points becomes a 10,000 point swing.
And we'll see if maybe the loss of the Ricci ends up being the difference here, or if that risk of 1,000 points was too much. Was a good decision here. Moriyama at 34, and so definitely has expanded the lead over the other three in this game, most notably over Yoshida.
Yoshida does still have his turn as dealer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably not looking to risk too much here while still just trying to end Moriyama's turn as dealer. Nishikawa could pawn non at the first chance he gets. Does he do it? He does not.
Yeah, the hand was a little bit challenging, but we're going to see the second chance. And let's go.
And he doesn't do it there either. Okay, so he will be playing kind of passively this hand, apparently.
Oh,
that's
second
good for
draw. Kind of wanted this to be a sequence, though.
Yeah, that's not quite the points Moriyama was looking for, probably.
Curious to see how he handles this 4-4-5 shape. If the 4-mon ends up becoming a pair, if we draw two sequences or two blocks out of that shape, or if in the future we do end up dropping the Dora, Moriyama will have a choice to draw the 7-mon, so 5-7-9, 5-7-9-9. Yeah, don't need two of those.
His shapes are just not the greatest. Yoshida still 2 away from ready. Ishikawa probably giving up. That improves his Pinzu weight. Moriyama could now also cheat. Now that he's gotten the 4 of dots, he could cheat, for example, the 6 of cracks.
Yeah, 7-8 so as well, a little bit tricky to fill, but 3 of the 9s have been discarded already, so it's unlikely that you're going to accidentally draw the wrong tile.
Accidentally end up free 10. That would be a disaster.
We can see where most of the 6-0 are, so that entire shape, awkward.
Much more awkward than he realizes. It's him a little closer to Tenpai. I would imagine you'd probably cheese for Tenpai if he gets the chance.
It's an improvement.
And Tenpai for Yoshida. Yoshida's waiting for 7 of dots.
Yeah, I think needs one more Mon tile, but
this improves
will be the most important player to challenge Moriyama.
Yoshida, yes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. Could pawn for Tenpai. That would be an interesting move. Tanya Dora 1.
I would expect Moriyama also is probably going to pawn for Tenpai. Reach from Sasaki. He has the Sanshoku possibilities. No, not Sanshoku.
Rishi Tanya, I think maybe Dora chance. That Richi puts pressure, but I mean the score is so close for the other players that you really can't afford to deal into Sasaki, even though if he is their farthest away.
Ishikawa is the only player that sort of has leeway to work with at the moment.
Would Nishikawa be willing to deal in here? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to deal in, but
oh my!
He cheat, except there's so few. Oh, and that was his winner too, but it was not the expensive one.
Cheap side, yeah. Moriyama with the 3 Dora in the hand, definitely feels like the rest of the hands will be relatively inexpensive, and he's right. It's just reaching Tanyao. But that's a big deal in two. I mean, if we look at the scores coming back,
puts him pretty close to 30,000 again, I think.
US counters were moving up as well, so a little extra value there.
The flip from, say, Yoshida going above 30,000 and Moriyama going back below is going to be, that's the whole game right there. Blam.
Exactly. Look how close this is. 12.1 currently with the scores as they are for Moriyama, and 9.2 for Yoshida. You can make up that difference, as you said, by going above or below 3,000, by swapping position, by winning a couple thousand points. So intense here. And Sasaki is immune to that. Just can't think about that at all. Just win hats.
All he's thinking about is points.
Moriyama with points. East pair. Dora pair.
However, not a Yaku for him, so not as easy to deal with. Needs to put together a hand. Oh, that improves his weight in the Pinzu. He is now one away from ready.
Big chance.
He would love to get to Tenpai with Pinfu and just be able to sit there quietly and win it.
Absolutely. Call from Yoshida, aiming for the flush.
Interesting. He holds on to the three of cracks. I wonder if he's thinking about Sanchoku and possibly getting to a point where he could complete Sanchoku. But nope, he'll go for possibly the Shabo in case he gets another Dora or the 7 of bamboos.
I think you're right. I think Sanchoku is always a good consideration. But in this case, ended up just taking the maximum efficiency.
And that works out for him.
Torichi or not? Does he need it? Yes, he says.
Wow, that is interesting. Boy, I wonder how many other players would play more passively in that situation.
Absolutely. Given the situation, it seems...
Right? He really can't afford to... Oh my God!
He saw the vision, the Ipatsumo!
He had a feeling. I like how he puts it off to the side like it's Penchan. Oh, wow.
Gun. Michitsumo, Dora 2.
Menpin Sumo Dorirori. Wow, that is a huge win. So that really kind of seals the deal for him. Although this is Yoshida's turn as dealer, right?
Yes,
he could
will. Wow.
Pick up a lot of ground this here if he manages to. First of all, if he just manages to get positive, that changes everything. He doesn't need to actually overtake Moriyama so much as he just needs to get positive and sort of close.
Well, this hand could be one to do it. I saw excellent shapes for Yoshida. Will it be his turn to reach and find the winner immediately? It still blows my mind, taking the temporary dip below 30,000 points when previously in this game he chose not to declare Ricci and ended up with a Sumo Pinfu only.
Right. What is the calculation that led to taking that reach and not the one before?
Fantastic stuff to watch. Yoshida now looking for the two, so desperate for the two, so that would be such a fantastic draw.
That would give him the 2-3-4 Sanchoku, perhaps? Is that
absolutely
that right?
Still holding a couple of 4-mon, so there's a chance he draws the 1-mon instead and gets, well, not 2-3-4, 1-2-3-4-4 shape in the Monzu would be a little bit unfortunate, but every step closer to Tenpai is worth something.
Moriyama seeming to give up a little bit there. Not the most exciting 4 of dots.
Having the same shape is a little bit awkward here. Moriyama as well. 7 is somewhat helpful. He's just taking this big advantage. Doesn't want to lose it in one go, so always needs to keep defense in mind as well.
Is that Ishanten for Yoshida?
I believe so.
4
Awkward
bamboos
one.
there, yeah. Yeah, it's certainly not leading to a pinfu sort of Ishanten.
Not at all. I'm really curious to see how he plays with a 2-so or 5-so draw. Naturally, it feels like you just slam, but if you draw 3-so or 4-so, then you're a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah, the pair is not nearly as exciting as the Tanpin, possibly Sanshoku. Yeah, he keeps getting tempted to go for Tenpai here. Sasaki is thinking Kokushi. Is he thinking that? I can't tell.
Must be. Hard to come back in this game without a Yakuma at this point, as, of course, Sasuke has no more dealership remaining.
I was wondering, yes. So the 9s, if Sasaki does get close to Kokushi, I guess he wanted to stay with the excuse me, not throw the 9s in case I guess Sasaki was getting close.
Yeah, the later it goes, the harder it gets to cut. He might end up on the 9-pin north Shamponway, which is totally fine to just sit and Dama with. Speaking of Dama, Yoshida does find the 5-so.
Tenpai and Sanshoku, the 2 of dots is Sanshoku, yes? 2 of dots is Sanshoku, and the 5 of dots, or not dots, 5 of bamboos is Ipeiko.
That's some nice value.
Ishikawa has really no reason to throw that. Oh no, the 6. Oh, all the weird ways that Tenpai could have happened.
Certainly, you have to be more and more concerned about Yoshida as the hand progresses. Is the 6 safe even now? North.
Sasaki is surprisingly close to, say, Su Uncle.
That's an alternative plan.
Collected 4 pairs and 1 triple now. Getting a little bit late for him to get there, though.
Ishikawa, although he's been safe for the majority of this game, he also has to be a little bit careful. Because if he deals directly into Yoshida, that could have tragic results.
There's only 1, 2 of bamboos left in the deck, I think. And maybe 1 or 2 5s of bamboos.
I believe in you too, so.
Yeah. Faith in the Ryanzo. Sasaki continues to push.
Somehow Ishikawa is finding a flush Tenpai. We're still 1 away, but if he does get there, that would involve cutting the 2-so, and that's definitely a no-go.
Right? I feel like, yeah, he's giving up. Bam has also given up, which means I think we're going to end in... Let's see, are there any 2-sos left?
Possibly, no, we had 1, 2, 3. I think that's Maybe one more draw. Oh my
Nishikawa,
goodness.
stay away from temptation. Do not be tempted.
So Nishikawa can see that Kokushi doesn't exist. So he doesn't have to worry about dropping these honor tiles. Yoshida gave that one. Could feel, but it did not feel right, and it was not the 2 or 5. So we'll stay tempai, take 1,000 from everyone, but needs to find more. That was such a golden opportunity. It seems
What a
like
huge
times
possibility there, right?
absolutely. A lot of times in Mahjong, it feels like everyone around the table gets a chance, and the player that takes advantage of it on their dealership is the player that wins. And right now, Moriyama is the one who's taking advantage of it.
Indeed. Although, boy, that reach to end Sasaki's turn as dealer, I wonder if that's why he did it there. Sasaki was dealer. He didn't feel particularly threatened by that dealer. Man, that reach, I mean, you and I were both just like, oh, yeah, come on. And then what?
Yeah, maybe in a spot where Sasaki is the dealer is forced to play for his hand. He thinks that he has, essentially two drawing pools towards the win. His own, and then also Sasaki's discard. So you might as well take advantage of the extra Richi value. Maybe that's a thought too. Just theory crafting here, but
no, that's good. That's good. I like it. Had not thought of that reasoning.
Maybe between the two of us, we're somewhere close.
Yes. Put us together, and we might have half of Moriyama's reasons. Another Dora for Sasaki, but I think he may be ready to throw in the towel here.
Yes, tough to start a game in a significant disadvantage, and then when it gets to South 3 and all your dealerships have passed, it's even harder to play.
I think he's looking for the old double Yakuman twice.
Yoshida also has a Dora, so that's promising for value. You've got another really awkward hand that can open, but once you do, you're left vulnerable with challenging shapes.
He does draw a very important east there, so he does now have a Yaku.
Sasaki with the East triplet, maybe Suako.
That was, I'm sorry, that was Sasaki. Okay.
Maybe Suako Dora 3, It doesn't add any extra value, but it feels nice. Oh, wow. What a draw, 3-pit.
He needed that. So that really drastically improves Yoshida's hand. Uncommon.
You see Yoshida discarding quickly again. We saw that before.
Do you feel like perhaps the speed on this video might be a little faster than normal?
I wonder. I do think, though, that the players at this table are just, some of the strongest players, right?
Right.
And they, they're so confident.
Wow.
Every time I watch Sasaki, I'm always so impressed by how quickly he makes his decisions. And then Moriyama the same. Yoshida Nishikawa matching the speed. Sure it does feel like that. It's so impressive.
Right. How did they know that quickly? Yoshida chooses not to hold on to. Oh, there's a lot of the 2-5 Sozo out already, so he takes the larger acceptance while still possibly not necessarily having a Yaku at his tempai.
Moriyama drawing advancements, but he's stuck with that Dora. It's very difficult to discard that because if the dealer needs it, even if they're not tempai yet.
All right, he's going to go for it.
Was that a 5-8 so?
Yes, he's waiting for the 5-8 of Sozu.
Not quite the
Ipatsu. Them already out, yeah.
I've seen a couple 5s, a couple 8s.
There's not a lot of them left, and there's one of the 5s in Sasaki's hand.
Tiles have not been as live as Yoshida would like. These strong so weights, but not strong in the wall. Still, there are a few left.
And a few draws left.
Every draw is a chance. Ishikawa not holding any of the winners, so I believe that is 3 in the wall.
I believe drawing here does put him right back in the lead. Makes him positive. And he would overtake Moriyama.
That would change the UMA computation. Where honor tiles not what Yoshida is looking for, and running out of time.
A con from
Oh my.
Ishikawa. It's interesting because that now gives the Eite Tsumo to Yoshida.
Yeah, that's unusual.
And I would have thought he was actually not really playing to win it. But there's another one of the 8s of bamboos that Yoshida wants. Going to the wrong... Oh, he draws the last one! Well, that changes everything. That now puts him in first place. And Moriyama had overtaken Ishikawa.
Yes. And now Nishikawa is the one who has to worry.
After all that time in the East round, that Nishikawa just seemed like, oh, I can sail into first place here. Now he's fighting for his life.
Of course, for viewers who were expecting a Dora flip there, JPML rules no new Dora
Good
after
point.
con.
Yoshida well into first place now.
And now more than content to pass his dealership. Ishikawa at plus 20.6 as it stands now. Moriyama at 13.0 in third. Again, we're back to where we started. Except Yoshida has taken over from Ishikawa.
Right. Once again, though, the difference, between, say, Moriyama being above 30,000 and dropping below it is everything. If Nishikawa could get, say, just 2,000 points from Moriyama, that's it. Flippy.
And Moriyama needs to make up a bit of ground here now.
I imagine
another miracle Tsumo.
I imagine Nishikawa pawning the south as soon as he gets a chance. There we go.
Especially with 2 Dora.
Right, he's got the makings for a monster. Even drawing at this point then gives him that's going to push Moriyama below 3,000.
And the additional gap is strong. Very appreciative that in these series they show the live totals in yellow.
That does help a lot.
Oh, or so.
A little bit closer to Tempai.
Big
I wonder
pressure.
if he draws, say, the 5/8 of Sozu, does he throw Dora?
I imagine so. Tempai is Tempai.
Not gonna go for the crazy excuse me, Honitsu.
And Yoshida almost a hand that is too strong.
Yoshida cannot throw the 5/8 of Sozu.
Maybe he's willing to. Maybe he's willing to just say, Nishikawa, win this hand, and let's set it to all last.
What's gonna happen? What does he do? So he
does play it out.
cheese. And he throws Dora. So now everybody knows he's ready. What does Moriyama do?
Moriyama has another exciting hand. Huge possibilities. Wow. 3 set tempai. All you have to do is drop a door indicator.
Yeah, I know. After Dora just came out.
I think I'm less scared after the door comes out. But there's no way
also,
it's a flush, right?
Wow. That might
She
be
says,
why
I'm not
he's
going to
an
test it.
A-leaguer. Yeah. That's why he's an A-leaguer and I'm not.
Extremely comfortable, so he really doesn't have to take that much risk here.
And he
Well,
gets to tempai, but now he's free then.
it's a different tempo. We've seen a couple of these now.
Changes weight. He changes his weight.
Oh, this could be trouble for Moriyama. Draws the so for Junchan Tempai.
Timing, Nishikawa. That is massive. That
It
just changes everything.
It was almost certain to be either 3-6 mod or 4-7. And unfortunately for Moriyama, it was the deal-in tile.
So much less important than the 3,900 points is the 100 or the 1,100 that knocked down Moriyama down into negative territory. However, if he can just jump right back into positive territory.
Yeah, we can see, according to these live totals, there's a rather large gap now to Moriyama, Nishikawa. Yoshida still extremely comfortable here. The only player above 30,000 points. So Moriyama will need somewhat of a large hand here.
So it is really just a battle between Moriyama and Nishikawa.
Yoshida can just bow out of this. Sasaki has an insane condition, so unfortunately probably not going to be able to play for this. But and that also makes things quite exciting when it's a head-to-head and the player, one of those players, is the dealer. That changes the math a little bit. And since Nishikawa is in the lead, he does want to just end this hand peacefully.
Yes, this is one situation where Nishikawa would probably prefer not to be the final dealer.
Still, as the final dealer, you can at least ensure that this will be the final round of the game.
How does Moriyama approach his final hand?
Yeah, all eyes will be on his hand construction.
Nishikawa starts with 2 Dora. Oh no, those are not. That's not the Dora. Yeah, it starts with 2 Dora.
Yes.
Does he choose? Oh, Moriyama starts with possible flushy hand.
Somewhat promising start. We'll see if he ends up winning the hand to shut things down. Of course, he doesn't really want to necessarily have to take the leading role in this play.
Fortunate for Moriyama that his possible flush hand does not include Dora. So it can't get more expensive that way.
But there's another Sozu.
He draws a very necessary puzzle.
Detriment pairs up, useless.
Yes. Another life that could have been more useful, but not this one.
It's always a door cut. So Nishikawa.
Interesting. So that looks like Nishikawa is already kind of leaning towards fold. So this is
Maybe
really
there's-
just up to Moriyama to put his hand together, and well, we're one away from Itsu, and then Itsu. What happens here?
Yeah, it's freeing when you see 8-pin come out from Nishikawa. You know this is the last hand of the game, but no one's gonna stop me. Only Yoshida really has a chance to stop me, so I can just do whatever I want. If I build the hand that could come back, then I've got my shot. If not, at least I tried my best. There's going to be no threat from the rest of the table, so Moriyama will be able to build at his leisure.
Still no Hatsu out. So there's still no Hatsu, and he could draw the remaining Paso. And the Sanzo are also still available. One of them in Yoshida's hand, and that's it. Kawa still continuing to give up. Although, yes, it would be rather strange to have given up and then suddenly stop giving up. Still no Paso or Hatsu in anybody else's hand. In the wall, waiting for Moriyama to draw them.
South is another Yakuhai chance. It is double south, but
Thought about it, but
somehow Sasaki is close to Tenpai. Of course, that hand he will not try to win in this score situation.
we are at there's another Sanzo that Moriyama needed. So now there's only 2 left in the wall. 2 Sanzo that he definitely needs, and another Paso? No, that's
I was
Ozu,
going to say that
not the right
that's
one.
the Sanzo. That's the tile he most desperately wants. Another south. We're running out of time.
South.
Into row 3. Is it going to be Yoshida Nishikawa, or will Moriyama find a couple clutch draws at the end of this game?
Gotta happen soon. Oh, Torty.
Once so, do we?
Throw 4 here. No? This is interesting, like, at this... Oh,
Yes.
Hatsu.
Right, going for the full flush.
Menholm.
It's
Menchin, sorry. Both of the Isos are over, the remaining Isos are over in Nishikawa's hand. No, Yoshida's hand.
It's a dead end for him, and there is a Sanzo.
Oh,
I think
not
this
gonna
may be
get there. Game over, man.
Valiant effort.
Oh, he was so close.
Nishikawa will find the final pile of safety. In the end, no players Tenpai. Will be Yoshida and Nishikawa finishing it out.
Yoshida
traded
with
places.
with a huge draw for both Yoshida and Moriyama making the most of their dealerships. Yoshida just having started a little bit farther ahead, he managed to pull it out in the end. That was exciting.
Absolutely, that Ipatsu draw by Moriyama on his dealership. I'm gonna have to go back to that one and look at it again. That was fantastic. And then Yoshida with 2 back-to-back dealer hands that had huge potential. Both had strong so weights, and he desperately needed to win. The first one went to Ryukyoku, who couldn't find the winner, and the second one came after the con of 8-so, found the 5. I believe it was the 5 winner. Sorry, it was 8-pin con, 5-so winner. Or
he
5-8-so was the weight, 8-so winner. But it was beautiful. Yoshida finding that huge hand to take back those points that Munyama had.
So
stolen
to have
his own championship.
decided, yeah, he could also have, you know, waited quietly there himself, and perhaps hoped that Mordian would throw like the 5 or 8 into his hand. But no, he chose to attack on his own and drew that last passo. Wow. Balls out. Oh, can we say that on TV?
Fantastic stuff.
All right, should we round it up? How do we usually close out these things? This is JPML Select, commentated on today by me, Garth Nelson, and Nathaniel.
And of course, Jen.
Jen started us off. Did start us off with the first game. Nathaniel, recent addition to the World Reach Pro Mahjong Association. Is that an association, or is it a league, or is it a?
It's an association, I guess, for now. World Richie Pro Mahjong, and we'll possibly have a league as well.
Program. Okay, there we go. Program.
Fantastic program, hoping to attract all the strongest players around the world and make the competitive scene outside Japan even stronger.
Yes, looking forward to seeing some more non-Japanese faces at the final table of, say, WRC coming up this summer. And I guess that'll wrap it up this time for JPML Select. Thank you everybody for watching, and I believe we will have another one of these coming at you next week. Let's see. Do we want any of our socials? I am Garth the on Twitter, or which is now X. How do people talk to you, Nathaniel?
Well, still working on that Twitter. I figure I'll need one soon. But for now, people can catch me on the WRC channel, where I also stream. Recently, it was the Sake Shimbun Cup Women's League, and there will also be broadcasts for the Psychosin team battle that's coming soon, next week.
Wow, very nice, very nice. And Jen, of course, is Mahjong Jen on X, among other things. Several YouTube channels too, I believe. Okay, I think that wraps it up for us on this JPML Select. I hope to see you guys all next week. Thank you for commentating with me, the amateur Nathaniel, and hope to see you guys all again soon.